All right, guys, we are live. Thanks for joining us. This is Beat the Line broadcast episode 29, UFC 301. I'm your host, Pegasus Picks. I'm here with Dravi and a special guest of the show. He's been here a few times, McPicks. Welcome again, brother.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be back on.
So, looking at this card, what do we think? Do we think it's going to be a Brazilian sweep so far?
I don't think so. I think we're gonna have some. I don't think this. I know there's a lot of big favorites, but I don't think they're all gonna win. So just to find out who's the right dog to catch. So yeah, I can't wait to talk about it.
I hear that, bro. I hear that. There's
gonna be. You guys see that on Bet Online? They have a prop or a special bet. It's over 8 Brazilians to win on the card.
I did see that. I kind of like it, honestly. I do think the Brazilians sweep here. I think the ones that would lose would be Costa and possibly Aldo. I kind of think those are the two that might lose. But we'll break into those. So let's start. Let's get started first. Our first fight is Alessandro Costa versus Kevin Borjas. Alessandro Costa is 13-4. He's 28. He's 5'4" with a 67-inch reach. He's fighting Kevin Borjas, who is he's 26, 5'5" with a 68-inch reach. The actions on these two guys, Costa's anywhere from -133 to -150. Borjas is anywhere from +123 to +105. McPicks, let's start with you first. Do you think Costa's going to implement a wrestling game plan here that I think he needs to win, or do you think Borjas just beats him up on the feet and wins by finish?
I think Costa should mix in a wrestling game plan. Is he going to? I don't know. He did shoot a couple takedowns, I know, against Erceg in his last fight. But in terms of a pick, it's a low confidence pick. I think that this line is a little bit wide. I think it should really just be a toss-up, like a pick 'em. But I'm going to take Costa purely for the grappling and submission upside. Is he going to go to it? Who knows? But I just think that Borjas is the better boxer with more volume. You know, Costa, he's well-rounded. He has power, but he's a bit tentative at times. Like I said, if he tempted more takedowns, I'd have more confidence in him. But I actually think that both guys are live for the finish here. You know, I think it's going to either be like a Costa submission or a Borjas KO. Okay. You know, Borjas has been submitted, I believe, 1 time professionally. But if you look into his whole career, he's been submitted twice as an amateur.
Yeah.
And I actually think that Borjas has better cardio. You know, he fatigued in his last fight, but it was because of the volume and the pressure of Van. I don't think that Costa is going to be able to reproduce that type of pressure and volume.
No way.
So like I said, it's a bit of a tough fight to call, but because of the grappling and submission upside, I'm going to go with Costa. But at the line right now, honestly, I think there's some value on Borjas. Like I said, I think it should be like a pick 'em. I think he's live to knock out Costa. We saw Erceg hurt Costa, and then the grappler, I forgot his name, Albazi. Yeah, he knocked him out. He's not known for his punching power, so I think it's like a dog or pass situation.
Nice. Yeah, and you know, like you said, both guys are pretty live for a finish. The under 2.5 is -110, and you get fight ends inside the distance at -140. That could be an interesting play there. Drav, what are you thinking? How do you want to play this one?
Yeah, I agree with McPick. I think it's a close fight at the end of the day, but I think Borjas has to be the side for me here. Like, he's the better striker. He has more power. He throws way more volume. He's more durable, and he's way better at striking distance. Costa, I think he's good in the inside. He has some power, but I don't think he has a good chin. Like, we're talking about a guy like MC just said, he got dropped by Albazi and finished, but he got dropped twice. Like, Albazi is a good fighter, don't get me wrong, but that was still a bad look to me. He got hurt against Erceg. That was not a bad look. He still survived. Props to him. But then I was watching a little bit more tapes because, the grappling upside is what worried me. But the guy's not really shooting any takedowns, you know? Like, he didn't shoot takedown against Flick, against Albazi, against Carlos Gomis, against the guy on the contender series that he fought. And he didn't shoot takedowns against Gonzalez. So you have to go all the way back to 2020 when he was really shooting takedowns. He did shoot against Erceg, but he started to shoot takedowns when he got hurt on the feet, and he only got one of them. So I don't think he's the best wrestler of all time. I think his grappling is pretty good. But to me, man, the guy that Borjas fought on the Contender Series, Diaz, he's training with Pantoja. He's at ATT. He's a good wrestler. He's a BJJ black belt. And yeah, I mean, he was able to take him down. He pushed a wrestle heavy game plan. And Borjas showed me in that fight that he has very good get up game, that he's not going to panic in bad position. And he showed me that he can push too late, even if he has to get up multiple times, defend multiple takedowns. I don't even think Costa's going to do that here. But if he does, I'm confident to say that if he doesn't finish him, Borjas is still going to be there in the third round. The cardio's close to me. I think both of them have good cardio. Costa, like I said, I think he hit hard on the feet. He's good in the pocket with his boxing. I like his leg kicks. But yeah, Borjas is way better at distance. He has way more volume. He's just going to do more. I think he's going to piece him up with the jab, man. Like, I don't think he's going to be able to handle the power of Borjas for 15 minutes. And he carries power late. Like, remember the Joshua Van fight? Like, I bet Van in that fight. I'm high on him. I think he's a pretty good striker, but the dude has a good chin, like very good chin. He's next level durable, and he got dropped by Borjas in the first round. That was impressive to me. He won the first round. It was 1-2-1 going into round 3. He was getting pieced up in round 3, but he still hurt. Like, he did kind of wobble Van again in round 3, so he carried the power late. Nasty power, and the guy again, Diaz, that he fought on Contender Series. The guy has a chin on him because he hit some bombs, and I just don't think Costa's going to be able to take the shots coming back his way. Even in the Gonzalez fight that I talked about, he got dropped in that fight as well. He got dropped against Abazi, got hurt against Erceg, and he's training with Diego Lope, and he's kind of fighting like him. He's kind of using his striking to make people shoot on him, and then he preferred to play off his back with his BJJ. He's good when he gets on top. He has good ground and pound, but he has not shown me the ability to do that often on tape. So I can't trust him to wrestle heavy in this spot. So with that being said, if they stand, I favor Borjas striking. I favor his power. I favor his durability, and I think he's gonna knock him out.
Yeah, I agree. I think Borjas is a little too has too much volume for Costa. I mean, this could also look like, what was the guy who just Yontop last week? I mean, gets to the ground, gets taken down. He could also get subbed too, because like we saw, kickboxers on the ground, sometimes they suck. And point.
If you look on Contender, he got taken down multiple times. The guy's a BJJ black belt.
He gets right back up. He gets right back up.
I love his get up game, and he's doing the right thing when he's getting back up. Like, he doesn't give up his back, and he has very good get up game. And like I said, I'm not even sure Costa's gonna shoot takedowns here, and if he does, I'm confident to say that Borjas can get up if taking down and piece him up on the feet.
Yeah, I think if he doesn't shoot takedowns, I think Borjas still wins this fight.
Of course,
I know there's a popular show, no free ads. He also has Borjas' lock of the week, and there's another popular capper, also no free ads, who has him as his free pick of the week. So it seems like this guy seems to be a pretty popular dog. I just think money's better well spent elsewhere. I think it's pretty low confidence. Next fight, Ismail Bonfim versus Vince Pichel. Ismail's back after a year layoff almost. He's 28 years old. He's 5'8" with a 71-inch reach. He's fighting Vince Pichel, who's 41, turning 42 very soon. He's 5'10" with a 72-inch reach. The odds right now on these two guys is Bonfim minus 155 to minus 610. Pichel's anywhere from plus 400 to plus 300. I'll start off with this one just because mine's going to be quick. Ismail Bonfim by KO. I think Ismail Bonfim has the takedown defense and the grappling to prevent Vince Pichel from taking him down or implementing his takedown game. He keeps it on the feet. He knocks him out with his boxing. I believe Bonfim is a Brazilian championship boxer. I know one of the brothers is a submission specialist. The other brother is the boxer. I think Ismail is the boxing one. So I think he wins by KO. I'll probably say in round 2, just because Pichel does have a chin on him. I think he could last at least one round, but I wouldn't be surprised if he finished them early as well. Job, what do you think here? Yeah,
I mean, he's a big favorite, dude. Like, are you confident he's gonna knock him out? I'm not too sure. Like, Pichel, I think I mean, he's older now, but he's very durable. He has a good chin, and I think Bonfim's a pretty slick striker, but he doesn't have like the one punch KO power. He's kind of more
knock out Zalal. Didn't he knock out Zalal in one punch?
Who you talking
No,
about? Bonfim?
Yeah, Bonfim, right?
Zalal's never been finished, I don't think.
Oh
Yeah,
no, I'm not thinking of who did Bonfim just knock out? The
he knocked
sniper.
out McKinney. He knocked
Who?
out McKinney.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure he does have knockout power. How many finishes does this guy have?
I mean, he has knockout power, but like he finished McKinney in round 2, but the last time that he finished someone by knockout was in 2020. Before that, he has power. Don't get me wrong; he's a slick striker. I'm just saying that he's not a one punch KO guy. Like he can finish people. I'm not saying his finishing instinct are bad, but against a guy who's durable like Pichel, I'm not too sure he's gonna finish him. If I'm being honest, if he does, I think he's gonna come out late. I think the finish might come in round 2, round 3, but I don't think he's gonna finish him early. I think
TKO.
yeah, maybe, but again, it's more of an age thing. Like, is Pichel washed or anything? We're not too sure. I think he's still durable. I think he might try to mix in some takedowns and make the fight interesting. But I think at the end of the day, I think Bonfim's the rightful favorite, fighting at home, better striker, much younger, more finishing upside. But yeah, I can get to what, minus 500. I think he is.
Mhm.
Let me just check.
Yep.
Make
Yeah,
sure.
minus 500 to minus 600.
Yeah, he's minus 550 now. Yeah, I can pick him, but if I had to choose a bet, it would be either like the over 1.5. I think it's a decent parlay piece, but if not, I think Bonfim by decision is also decent.
Yeah, true. McPicks, how about you, man? What do you think here?
Yeah, not too much to add on this one. There's 2 fights in this card I really haven't really looked into. This is one of them. But I will say, Bonfim's a huge favorite. So obviously I'm going to pick him, but I think stylistically it's a great matchup for him. He has 4 losses. They're all by submission, and Vince Pichel doesn't have any submission wins.
No.
And the guys who submitted Bonfim are really good.
Yeah.
Denis just recently. Then before that, it was Renato Moicano. And then early on in his career, he was submitted by a guy I don't know, and then Adriano Moraes, who was really good. So he's getting submitted by really good fighters. And Vince Pichel is not active, and he's 41 years old. So I think this is kind of like a bounce back moment here for Bonfim, and I think they're kind of setting him up for a win here. Not to kill the flow, but did you guys see that Pereira tweeted something about fight news and hashtag UFC 301?
Yeah, I think he was trolling.
Yeah, right? He has to be.
Yeah, he was trolling.
I was saying the only way it would be possible, because he's in Brazil right now. He's gonna watch the card. There's only one light heavyweight fight.
Petrino backing out.
So like one of them backing out, and then he just fills in late. But I mean, like they wouldn't want to do it.
Smith kept talking about he would give him problems and everything.
I kind of looked into that a little bit. I saw like word around being like, if it were to be, it would be a catchweight title not on the line, and it would be like a 208 or something like that.
No, I think Pereira, he's too much of a star.
He's got too many broken toes. You see, both his feet are taped. He broke both pinky toes on both sides of his feet. So I don't really think he's fighting anyone, but he wants to. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I think he could beat Anthony Smith with a broken foot, probably. So
definitely,
I don't know. Yeah, that's just one of those things. All right, let's go to our next fight here. All right. So we're missing Key today, and this is his shot here. This is his Super Bowl. We're talking about Dione Barbosa versus Ernesta Kareckaite. Actually got that one right. Barbosa is 31. She's 5'6" with a 66.5-inch reach. She's fighting, like I said, Ernesta Kareckaite. She's 25, 5'9" with a 71-inch reach. Action on these two women. Barbosa's anywhere from minus 200 to minus 230. Ernesta is anywhere from plus 181 to plus 165. McPicks, do you think Barbosa's going to get these takedowns that she needs to win, or is she just going to melt to the volume of Ernesta?
I think that she gets takedowns. I think a red flag on the side of Kareckaite was not her last fight. She fought Carly Judice, who's not really a grappler, really inexperienced. But her previous fight to that, I don't know the girl's name. She fought a French girl, and I think she was a judo fighter as well, and she was taking her down kind of at will. So, there's a chance maybe she kind of tightened up her takedown defense, but I don't know. I think Barbosa is just a really good fighter. She's a black belt in BJJ and judo, and I think she actually has an Olympic background in judo. she's actually a really good striker too. She mixes it up, good movement on the feet, and she throws those like random jumping knees. She's an athlete. She has a couple of losses on her record. She had a close fight with Jenna Bishop, who's undefeated. And then she lost to Nunez, not Amanda Nunez, the other Nunez, the shorter one. But she's a heavy hitter, and she was fighting up a weight class during that fight. Kareckaite, she's tough. She's a kickboxer. She's tall for the division, has really good cardio, and you can't really deny her toughness or her volume. She throws a lot of strikes. She's 5-0. But her last 3 decisions have been really close by a split decision. I thought she lost that fight against the French girl. But like I said, her opponent on the Contender Series wasn't a grappler, was inexperienced, and attempted a few like fluky takedown attempts and was unsuccessful. That's why she has like a 100% takedown defense. So I think Barbosa will be the best grappler she's faced. And as a judo practitioner, you want to fight a taller fighter because they have a higher center of mass, so it's easier to like disrupt their balance and take them down. So I just think that Kareckaite, if she's aggressive like she was her last time out, will open up more opportunities for Barbosa to like clinch up, get to the body, and attempt her like throws and her trips, her judo throws. And Kareckaite, she's also fighting in enemy territory here. It's always tough to get to a money line at a chalk price for someone making their debut off Contender Series. But I do think that Barbosa is the better fighter here, and I do think she actually finishes Kareckaite if she gets down to the mat.
Drop, can you hear me?
Yeah. Now.
How about you? What are you thinking here?
Yeah, it's kind of a tricky fight because I understand why Barbosa is the favorite. Like she can compete on the feet, and she's the much better grappler. She has wrestling, grappling upside for sure. If she gets on top, might be some problems, but I don't think she's like an elite finisher. I think she's decent with the BJJ, but she's kind of content to sit on top at time. So I'm not too sure she's gonna get a finish. So with that being said, like we have to factor the fact that Ernesta is gonna be longer. She's gonna be taller. She throws more volume. She has better cardio. Her striking is not amazing, but she won't fuck off. You know what I mean? Like she's gonna be out. She's gonna be there. She has very good durability, and she's gonna go like in round 3. If the fight goes there, I think you want to be on Ernesta. Not the other way around. I've seen Barbosa slow down in some fights. I've seen her getting finished by Nunez. Like I'm not saying she's cheating or anything, and I don't think Ernesta has like big power, but she's the type of girl that's just gonna throw, and if she's able to defend the takedowns, I think that's her fight to lose. And Barbosa, sometimes she's not really shooting takedowns, but I think she should here, and if she gets on top, like I said, I think her grappling is pretty good. But I think Ernesta, I think she's plus 193 right now on Bet Online. I think it's kind of worth a shot at dog odds. Like you guys said, like both of them are making their debut. That's a woman MMA fight, a little bit lower level, and probably going to be close. Probably going to go the distance. I think Barbosa has some submission upside. I think Ernesta has some KO upside, especially as the fight goes on. And I kind of favor him as the fight. I favor her as the fight goes on. So yeah, it's kind of a tricky fight. I know Key like Ernesta. You would probably be over on the podcast today, but unfortunately he can't be there. He can't be here now. But I think she's the side. It's more of a value play for me though. Like I'm not too confident that she wins, but I think a plus 190, plus 195. I think she has to be the side.
Yeah, I agree. I played her at plus 150. She ballooned up to plus 190. I like her more here. I think she's worth 1 unit. Just because kind of like what Job said, it's a low level girls fight. Why not take the dog shot here, especially when when she's a dog and she's got a lot of volume. She puts out a lot of pace, stuff like that. And I think down the line, she probably could melt her probably late in the fight. But we'll see. I don't think it's it's probably a little more low, probably one of my more low confident plays, but we'll see where this one goes.
And I don't think Barbosa loves getting pressure also. I've noticed this in 2 tapes. Like, I don't think she loves getting pressure. And if she's getting pressure, and then shooting takedowns and not getting them, I think she might get tired and might get finished late. But yeah, not too confident.
Yeah. Nah, I agree. All right, next fight. Mauricio one-shot Ruffy versus Jamie Mullarkey. Ruffy is 30 years old. He's 5'11" with a 75-inch reach, fighting out of Fight Nerds. Jamie Mullarkey is 29, 6 feet, 74-inch reach out of Magnus Martial Arts. Right now, the odds on these two gentlemen, you can get Ruffy anywhere from minus. I mean, it says fight odds says my bookie has it at minus 145. Go to my bookie and get that right now, even though they're not.
Probably not true.
And then everyone else has it anywhere from minus 185 to minus 200. The dog odds are plus 160 to plus 135 on Jamie Mullarkey. Drav, break this one down for us quickly first. Do you think Mullarkey's chin's actually done here and Ruffy finishes him early?
Yeah, I don't know about early, but yeah, I think Mullarkey chin is gone. Like I played Nasrat and Nasrat knockout last time out, and it's pretty funny because Nasrat is not really knocking out anybody.
Nope.
And then you just check, but I think it was some crazy odds. Yeah, it was. Oh, never mind. Look like I can find it. Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, I played Nasrat at minus 170, and I played KO at plus 350 and plus 450. Like now we're talking about minus money on the KO. Like it's a little bit different, right? But yeah, I mean Mullarkey has been hurt in multiple fights. If you just look at it, like yeah, I mean he got wobble against Smith. He got KO'd by Turner. He got knocked down by Johnson. He got KO'd by Naivov. That was up away class in UFC debut. He also kind of got drop/hurt against McDaisy, which that's not good look, and he got knocked out by Nasrat, which again I don't think it's the best.
Bad luck.
Yeah, exactly. And now he's coming back. He's going to Brazil for a pay-per-view against a Brazilian who's gonna try to knock him out and is more dangerous than his past three opponents. You know, so yeah. And I mean Ruffy, I like him. I back him on Contender Series. He was an underdog. He's a guy fighting nerds. I love this camp. He's super dangerous, like 100% KO rate. And if you look into his tape, you're gonna see that he has one loss. Let me just confirm. I don't know if you've watched that fight, but if you didn't, go watch it right now. It's a banger. He lost to Manuel Souza. This guy is 11-0 right now. He just knocked out Tim Wilde in Bellator. This is a pretty good fighter. So yeah, he lost to that guy, but like he got knocked out in the second round. But man, he almost killed him in the first. Like he was all over him, and then he got caught. But yeah, I think Ruffy's a pretty good fighter. Like he's dropping back down to 155 now. He was at 170 for the Dana White Contender Series fight. I love his leg kicks. I think he's pretty powerful with them. He hurt Raymond, the Russian that he fought on Contender. This guy that he beat, for you guys maybe not familiar, but he has a win over Impa Kazanai, who's a pretty good fighter in PFL right now.
Never heard of him.
He beat him by split decision. That was very close, but yeah, I mean Ruffy has pretty good takedown defense, good get up game. He's super dangerous, a lot of flashy striking. And yeah, man, I just don't see Mullarkey being able to take the shot that's gonna be coming back his way. He's like I said, he's super powerful. The thing that I don't like about him is sometimes he can be a little bit low volume. He can be a slow starter. So that's a little bit of a worry. I think they might exchange leg kicks a little bit. Difference is Ruffy check them, Mullarkey doesn't, and his leg kicks are nasty. Mullarkey kind of used the leg kicks to score points and win minutes. So yeah, and I think the guy that he beat on the Contender, like I said, is pretty good. Makhachev was hyping him up. So yeah, this dude's pretty good. He was able to finish him. But yeah, he's kind of looking for the perfect shot at time, which might be a little bit of a concern because Mullarkey can be looking good, maybe try to mix up some takedowns, and then he's probably just going to get killed. Which round is going to be, I'm not too sure. I think Ruffy can even win a decision in the fight goes there because if he doesn't finish Mullarkey, he's going to hurt him at some point. He's pretty powerful. So I play Ruffy, but I got minus 125. I mean, now the line's minus 210. I wouldn't play minus 210. That's a UFC debut at the end of the day. And that's a guy that has never gone a distance. So, yeah, I think at these odds, you got to be able to find a knockout prop at plus money, but I don't think you can. But if it's minus 105, I think it is on Bet365. I think it's better than playing minus 210. But moneyline side, it kind of has to be Mullarkey because if he doesn't get finished, he's probably going to make the fight interesting. But yeah, I mean, Ruffy moneyline minus 210, I think the value is gone. But KO minus 110, minus 105, I think it's pretty decent. That's how he should win.
Yeah, I mean, Ruffy was plus 135 at one point on DraftKings. I kind of watched that line for a little bit. I kind of thought people were gonna wait on that. It came out during the UFC Atlantic City card. I was keeping an eye on it, and then once I saw it get to plus 115, that's where I threw a unit on it. I was happy playing him plus odds for sure. Like you said, I think he's going home, and I think he's bringing Mullarkey's jaw with him. What do you think, McPicks?
So this is one of the other matchup I didn't really dive deep into, but similar to Drav, I also took him on the Contender Series as an underdog. The guy he fought is actually really good. His previous opponent was Impa Kasaganai, and he beat him. And that dude's been on a tear. But, actually, so Ruffy opened plus 150 on DraftKings. I don't know what they were thinking. So I bet it at plus 150.
Nice.
I did it. I bet actually a bunch of these fights. So some of the lines that DraftKings opened for, like with this card, were just outrageous. So I tipped a lot of them in my Discord. I didn't track any of them. But yeah, I got some ridiculous lines for this card. But I think that obviously the KO is live here. I think his chin's been checked a number of times, and like Drav said, I don't know what round it's going to be, but I do think that he finds the chin of Mullarkey at some point.
Yeah, we'll go into that too. This whole card dropped while we were at Atlantic City. I was getting ready to actually go to the card when all these lines were dropping. I got crazy lines. I got we'll go into it later. I got Brito plus 100. I got Chow Brajo minus 198. They dropped like crazy lines for that card.
Yeah, it's cool, boys. I can get them. Sad.
Yeah. Hey, we're lucky because you'd move them, right, Drav?
Of course, bro.
Well, DraftKings definitely does their lines. Like if you bet online openers, they'll move within like 10 seconds. It's insane. But DraftKings, it could be there for a couple hours. I mean, you know what I mean? The ridiculous lines. Sometimes they move quicker, but they definitely do not move as quick as bet online. Like I think some of these lines were sitting there for hours.
I mean, Ruffy was plus odds for almost 8 days. So It was like DraftKings. It's because it's like one of those bigger books and they have a lot of money, so they can, handle the exposure. I think Bet Online doesn't really like to handle exposure like that. I also think they like putting odds out like that because it brings more money and eyes to their book. It gets more people on there. But most of the sharp bettors, will find their way off that book before they know it if they hammer some of those lines. It also depends on how big your unit size is and how much you're dropping on those lines. Next fight here, Joaquim Silva versus Jakar Klose. Joaquim Silva is 35. He's 5'8" with a 69-inch reach. He's fighting Jakar Klose, who is 36, 5'9", with a 70-inch reach out of the MMA lab. The odds on these two guys, Jakar Klose anywhere from minus 177 to minus 158. Silva is anywhere from plus 152 to plus 130. I'll start us off on this one just because, I didn't really dive too deep on this. I didn't take a single play on it. The one thing that stood out to me early was Silva by KO plus 430. Guy's kind of a savage. He'll sit down on his punches. Sure, people kind of count on Jakar Klose's chin, saying, he's got a pretty good chin. We saw him get knocked out by Dariush. He also has, after that whole push thing with whatever happened with Jeremy Stevens, he has neck issues now. I don't know. At 36 years old, if, Joaquim Silva sits down on a punch, I think he could take him out with one of those. I don't think the sub is necessarily there just because I know Klose, has like a decent wrestling background and he kind of keeps himself safe from that. He's never been subbed before. He's only been knocked out once, but he goes to decision and he's 8-1 in decision. So I think I would take a shot on the KO with Joaquim Silva in Brazil. McPicks, what do you think for this one? You got anything on this?
I don't have anything yet, but I agree with you. I think the KO on the Silva side is live. I think this fight overall is getting overlooked as like a almost like fight of the night contender. I think it's gonna be fireworks, honestly. Klose has been known to he's been known to be like a decision guy in the UFC. But if you look at his record, he's fought like a ton of durable fighters. Mm-hmm. And a lot of guys that don't hit that hard. So a lot of times they make it to a decision. But his last 4 fights, his 4th fight back was against Dariush. That was a banger. That was back and forth. Then Brandon Jenkins. The dude put it on Brandon Jenkins big time and then knocked him out in the 2nd round. That dude's pretty durable. And then you have Rafa Garcia. That guy's a tank. No one's knocking him out. And then Joe Solecki slammed him down on the ground and knocked him out that way. So I think both these guys are going to go to war. If I had to choose their side, I would probably choose Silva. and I think there's value on that KO line at plus 400, whatever it's at.
Yeah,
And
430.
Silva himself, that dude is hittable. I mean, he got knocked out by Ricky Glenn in like 10 seconds. I mean, that's a red flag right there. But he's been knocked out a number of times. I mean, I think that both guys are live for the finish. Silva's got it. His nickname is Neto BJJ, but the dude really doesn't go for too many submissions. But I would say it's a dogger pass, and I do think we're going to get some violence on this one.
Yeah, it's interesting because the over-under is set at 1.5, and fight ends inside the distance is minus 150. So you're kind of getting plus 430 on a heavy hitter who bites down on his mouth guard, and he's, it's like one side or the other coming down to a knockout. Sure, I think Klose is a little more durable, but I don't know. I kind of think that would be the side to bet this. Drav, how about you?
Yeah, it's kind of a tricky fight to pick a winner, but one thing I've noticed that was interesting is Klose. I mean, he has a very good, like he's what, 8-2 in the UFC? Yeah, 8-2 in the UFC. That's a pretty good damn record. But then you look at it, the only two guys that beat him are southpaw. That's interesting because Silva's going to be southpaw here. So yeah, that's something that stick to my attention when I was looking into it. And then, like you guys said, I think one of his best access is grappling defense. He's putting himself in bad position at time, but he's doing the right thing to defend subs. I think his submission defense is top notch. So I don't think he's gonna get submitted here. For him to get sub, he kind of need to get hurt and then club and sub with like a guillotine, which I don't really see happening. Silva, he's not really shooting takedowns. He's more of a striker, but difference is Klose going to do more on the feet. He has more volume. I think he's more likely to win. I think he has the better chin. But yeah, I think either guy are alive for a knockout. But yeah, it's kind of funny to look at it because they're kind of both durable, but they're getting older, 35, 36 years old. At first, I think the over 1.5 was a good parlay piece. And yeah, fight doesn't go maybe because it's probably going to be a war, but I feel like you guys said, I think it's going to be like a very good fight that end up going the distance personally, but I'm not too confident about it. I don't have a good read on who's going to win. I'm going to pick Klose. I think he's going to win a decision, but we're going to see some sketchy moment here, and both of them have some power, and they can get cracked for sure. But at the price, if we're talking about value and numbers, I think Silva at plus 155 or plus 160, he has to be the side. But yeah, for my pick, I think that Klose win probably a decision.
That's a good point too. That he struggled against southpaws, but in terms of like Klose's submission defense, it's definitely good. I mean, he's wrestled in like every single fight. He's never been submitted, and Dariush had his back and like for the entire first round. He's a really good grappler. And
Andrew Mullarkey too, right?
What about fight end by knockout? What is
that's
that?
what I was drive. You know what's so funny? I wrote down right here, fight to end by KO. We'll see where that comes.
That's a good look, honestly. I don't think either guy is getting submitted. The other thing I do want to mention, if you watch back the tape on Klose, I think he's hittable. I mean, he sometimes gets over aggressive and he like lunges forward with his hands down. That's how he got caught against Dariush. He hurt Dariush, and then he just kind of came forward and Dariush caught him. I mean, like I said, he hasn't really fought a lot of power punchers, and he's fought a lot of durable guys. And recently, he's been jacking up the aggression. So,
man, that's true. Let me just check if I can find it. Fight in by knockout.
I don't think the prelims have dropped on FanDuel or DraftKings yet. Those are usually the books that have that. Does BetOnline give that bet out? I don't even know.
No, Bet Rivers have the prop, so I'm probably gonna find it.
It was like plus 102 on Bet Rivers, I'm pretty sure.
See, there you go. Because you would have think, right? So if Joaquim Silva is plus 430, and what's his? Let's look at his KO line. Klose by KO is plus 170, and they're giving you plus 102. I don't know. I think at plus 100, getting either guy to finish is kind of pretty good. I got to mute this real.
Yeah, I think so. I don't find the numbers, but yeah, I think it's a good look. Yeah, man. So what's the next fight?
My bad. I moved out of New York City to Connecticut, and somehow where I live, it's even louder than Manhattan was. It's
The
unbelievable.
call is coming for you, bro.
I was gonna say, are they calling for you? You're about to get arrested live on camera.
You're getting caught. You're getting caught.
So I live like right on this like main strip going down here, and it's just like crazy all the time.
Yeah. You were scared, Peg. That's okay.
Next, let's go on to the next fight. We got Gene Silva versus William Gomis. I'm very surprised to see William Gomis as an underdog here. Gene Silva, he's 27, 5'7" with a 69-inch reach. He's also out of Fight Nerds. William Gomis, he's 26, 6 feet tall with a 73-inch reach. The odds on these two guys right now, you got Gene Silva minus 122. Wow, what line came in a lot from the last time I checked. Gene Silva is minus 122 to minus 107 on some books, and Gomis is anywhere from plus 102 to plus 112. William Gomis was at like plus 150 yesterday or 2 days ago, and then it was like plus 130 like not too long ago. So he's getting steamed. I honestly thought he should have been the favorite. I had a lot of bets put in already, so I kind of didn't want to take more exposure on this card after getting destroyed last week. So, but I would have played Gomis here. I think Gene Silva looks and kind of needs a firefight. He usually gets into these brawls where he finds his finishes, and Gomis has that, you know, we'll have Drav explain it. Some sort of French fight style that they call savant style, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, I don't know shit about it, to be honest.
Where they stand on the outside. Well, I figured, you know, you speak French, you would have some idea. I guess it's where they like stand on the outside, pick their shots, keep it at range, like, you know, a lot of the French fighters have, especially out of that MMA factory camp. So I'd be interested to see where this goes. I think Gomis is the side here, plus odds, as long as he can get it. Drav, what do you think? And then we'll bounce it to McPicks.
Yeah, I agree with the line movement here. I think it's gonna be a good fight, to be honest. But to me, like I was looking into betting Silva at first, but yeah, I was watching the line when he was about to pick him. But yeah, you have Gomis who has more UFC experience. And now he ended up being plus 150. I think it's more because people are kind of eye on Jen Silva making his not his debut, my bad, but I mean, if you look who did he fought last time, like he fought a bomb. We're gonna talk about it a couple times on the contender, but he fought on the show. But someone that Wilson guy that's getting finished.
Weston Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, this win doesn't really tell me much. But to me, Silva is kind of done at time. Like he's a good fighter, but like him and his own country fighting a guy, I think he's gonna like do some stupid stuff and kind of rush a finish and pay for it. So you have Gomis. I think he's way more technical than him. I think he's maybe weird to say, but I think he's the better striker, more technical. The thing with him is he doesn't throw more. He doesn't throw a lot of strikes, so sometimes he can end up in close fights. But man, like he's gonna dance on the outside. He's gonna use the big cage. I think the big cage is good for him. I think if it was in the apex, I think it's better for Silva. But here, I feel like you can't ignore that the fact that Gomis is 6 foot with 73 reach. That's something that we don't see often at this weight class. And he's also southpaw compared to Silva is 5'7" with 69 of reach and orthodox. So just with that, you have to favor Gomis a little bit with the striking matrix. I don't think Silva is going to shoot takedowns. He doesn't really do that often. And when he does, he's kind of letting people getting right back up, which is kind of my concern here because I wanted him to grapple against Gomis. But I feel Gomis might try to get some takedowns here. But yeah, I think he's faster than Silva, Gomis. I think he's more technical. He fought better competition. And yeah, he's low volume. That's my concern. But Silva's going to push a fight through him. And I think he's going to like the fact that he's going to be so open to be counter is so open to be it's going to allow like Gomis to throw a little bit more than he's used to be. And he has good counter shots. He's good on the back foot. He's good on the front foot. And he's going to have a lot of success with kicks. So this is Silva first pay-per-view in his home country, like I said, fighting in the big cage against a guy who has more UFC experience than him, who's longer, taller than him. And I think it's going to go the distance. Silva is 1-2 to the decision. I think Gomis is 5-1. So yeah, give me Gomis here. I'm not too confident, but yeah, I get that Silva has more finishing upside. But with his style, it wouldn't like shock me if Gomis were to find a knockout because Silva just rush, and might maybe get caught. But sometimes he can be a little bit too cocky in the cage, doing some dumb stuffs, and I don't want to lay chalk on a guy like him. He's good pressure, good power, but yeah, I think Gomis is going to take it. Probably a close decision, so you might get robbed.
Yeah, that's another thing that people. I kind of put a tweet out earlier this week, and it's important to talk about. I mean, Brazilian judges, man, it doesn't really get any worse than this. I think that you got to keep in mind when it goes to decision, there could be some robberies, especially if the fight's really close. McPicks, what do you think?
So I'm actually on the other side. I'm going to disagree with you guys on this one.
All right. I like that.
It's always good to have opposing viewpoints, right?
Yeah, that's what we need because we're always so like-minded. I want to hear this.
So, the way I'm looking at it is like, what's William Gomis's path to victory? It's really a decision because I don't think he's going to knock out Silva. I don't think he's going to grapple him. I don't think he's going to submit him. Gomis has gone to, yes, he has more UFC experience, but he's gone to some close decisions. I mean, he had one split decision, one majority decision, and then it says it's a knockout against Gamori. He didn't knock him out. I don't know if you guys saw that fight.
Yeah.
That was, dude, I had the over 2.5 rounds in that fight. That was like one of the saddest, the worst beats of my life.
No way.
Yeah.
Swear to God.
Stuff.
But I just feel like Silva, he just has more ways to win. I mean, Gomis he's a good rangy kickboxer, really good distance management, but he's low volume, doesn't really have power. Silva's never been finished. And Gomis is like fairly one-dimensional. Like I said, I think his win condition is rooted in outpointing Silva on the feet to a decision, which it could happen here, but I don't think it's going to happen, especially if that's his only path to victory. And Silva, on the other hand, has all the finishing upside, the power advantage, the volume advantage, and I think he's going to be the better grappler fighting out of Fight Nerds camp. We've recently seen, like you said, it's in Brazil, so he's fighting on home turf. It's expected to go to a decision, and we've seen recently the judges have been favoring power or damaging strikes, and Silva is definitely the more impactful striker. So I was actually also impressed with the cardio Silva. Not on his last fight, obviously ended early. That guy was Weston Wilson was like a scrub, but yeah, the Contender Series, he looked good, man. He fought all 3 rounds are hard. He was going hard on the 3rd round. Yeah. So I just think I'm picking him to win. I think he has more ways to win here.
Yeah. Do you think he could finish Gomis at a high clip?
I don't think so. I mean, I think he could hurt him though, and I think he'll land the harder strikes. But I think he wins here.
I agree with you. I think he got the distance, and I can see him winning. But I feel like it's gonna be close. So that's why I like Gomis.
Yeah. Gomis is like super defensive and technical. Yeah. He doesn't get out of position. But he's just low volume and he just goes. He looks to outpoint his opponents. I don't like that.
Yeah, and fight to go to distance is -135. Like if you like it and you think both guys have an opportunity to win a decision, I mean, it's a pretty good bet, right? I mean, that's kind of what I would look at going based off both your guys' thoughts.
Yeah, but if you bet Silva and then you bet like fight go to distance, if you finish him, you're gonna be a little bit mad. But I agree that Silva has like most of the finishing upside. I think because of his style, and I've listened to an interview in French about Gomis, and he was talking about that now it's like the big time, the big pay-per-view, and that's the time that like because we know he's super good, but he just doesn't push for a finish and he stays safe. And he was saying that because of Silva's style, the way he's putting himself in danger, it's going to allow him to find a knockout here. That's what he was saying. Maybe it's not true, but he was saying that he kind of want a knockout in this spot. So we can't always like, we can't always like listen to what they're saying, but he was talking about it in interviews in French, and he was saying that he kind of wants a knockout here and make a statement, move to the rankings.
I don't know if that's a good idea for him.
Dravi's got the upper hand, man. He understands French. He's listening to French interviews to the French fighter.
See, this is what I'm saying, bro. And he just goes before. He goes, I don't know what you're talking about. Really? You don't know what I'm talking about here?
He explained his style, but I just don't know how to pronounce it in English. That's why I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, basically, he's like you said, he's a little bit like Cyril Gons. Cyril is more like pushing finishes these days, but he was kind of the same before. Like that's because he's a heavyweight. That's where he's finishing more people. Imavov, same thing. Like they're pretty good striker. Like I think Gomis is a better striker than Silva. I think he's more technical, better footwork, but he just doesn't throw enough volume at time. But the fact that Silva's gonna be like pressure him, that's why it make me a little bit more confident that he's gonna be doing more. And that's why that's what he talked about. He said, "Look, I know that what's the most important for me is to win fights in the UFC. I just got a new contract. I'm now going into Brazil. I know they're gonna boo me. I don't care. I'm here to win, but I would like a finish. I would like to make a statement. I want to move to the ranking. And this guy is good. He has good finishing ups, good finishing instinct, but he's willing to put himself in danger, and I want to capitalize on that." That's kind of what he said. And he has good counter shot, and he's fast. So maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
Fight, I think.
Would that be his first? Would that be his first finish? Would that be his first finish?
I mean, he got a finish recently.
Oh, we just talked about that.
Yeah, but he got a couple knockout on Reginald. But in the UFC, like I said, he said it himself. He was fighting to win, and just he didn't really want to finish it. He doesn't really care about that. But yeah, we'll see. But if he push a finish here, it might be trouble. But I don't think he will. He's a smart fighter.
It looks like his most recent were ground and pound finishes to guys who are 6-1 and 11-5, just wiki capping them quickly. Interesting. I don't know. We could see. Next fight. This is a pretty big one. Everyone's talking about it on Twitter. There's a lot of people all over it. They can't pick a side here. It is Elvis Brener versus McPicksMMA Orolbai. Elvis Brener, he's 26, 5'10", with a 72-inch reach. He's out of Jukebox. Orolbai, he's 26, 5'10", 74-inch reach, out of a camp I can't even pronounce. Ulu Kurzik team. Right now, the odds on these guys, Orolbai is minus 250 to minus 290. Brenner's anywhere from plus 225 to plus 180. Like we were talking about earlier about getting lines early on DraftKings, I played Orolbai minus 170. I did a quick breakdown on Twitter just because usually I like to post my bet and my breakdown, but people get upset because the line's usually not there. It's not my fault. But so instead, I'm doing total breakdown. So my breakdown for this, I think it's going to be a banger. We saw with the Medic fight, right, that Orolbai has a really good chin. He's willing to stand there and bang, but he really wants to get the fight to the ground. He's got that stone face and that elite chin that you see with a lot of these guys. He's got pretty good strike. He's got really good striking, I think. I mean, we watched him strike with Medic, and then he has like an elite wrestling pace that we've seen in both his regional fights. And I mean, in the Medic fight, he just takes him down and he just dominates guys. People aren't noticing, even though, like I said, that height differential between the two guys, they say they're the same height. I promise you, when these two guys step in the cage, Orolbai is going to be a lot bigger than him, both physically, broader shoulders, everything like that. People are chasing this line because they probably cashed Brener as a dog against Guram, or they cashed him as a dog against Tukagov. But Tukagov was minus 1850 on the closing line and got robbed a decision. I think that fight, was that in Brazil, that fight? I don't even know. Probably he got robbed there. I mean, Guram was walking him like a dog until he got that third round KO. So it's like a robbery and a comeback finish. He would be 1-2 in the UFC with that other win he had against a debutant. And then, I just think people are falling in love with this Brener KO. Sure, he's got the hands and the jukebox Muay Thai, but he's definitely more of a grappler. People aren't really seeing that. Orolbai has the wrestling to keep him down, and he won't put himself into danger. In reality, I just don't really see Brener winning this fight, especially if it's taking place on the ground. He'll accept guard. He'll try and play from guard, and I don't think that's going to really work out for him. I think if Brener does find a finish, it'll be later in the fight. It'll be round 3 like he has done in the past. But I don't know. I just don't think it goes that way. Brener obviously doesn't get finished. He's a dog. I don't think this guy Orolbai is getting finished. So I think right now the bet to take would be Orolbai by decision, plus 135. I know a lot of people are playing the under because 24 out of the 27 fights between the two have finished inside the distance. But that's because, you look at the competition they've been facing. Now, it hasn't been great outside of Gabriel Santos in the UFC fights for them. And Medic, he finished Medic, and we just saw Medic land a similar shot like he did to Tim Means on Orolbai, and Orolbai didn't even flinch, didn't even get hurt. Kept walking him down, got him against the cage, took him down, and did what he does best. So I kind of think this fight goes hot take. I think the fight goes the distance here. I think it's probably the way to play it. But I'm definitely on the Orolbai side. I think Orolbai kind of is going to put work on this guy. What do you think, Drav?
Yeah, I have to disagree with you. Like, did you watch? Did you watch his loss against Sachuev?
Which one? The Orolbai's?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
He didn't lose that fight.
Yeah, I said thank you, McPix. Thank you.
That was very, very close. Yeah, I think he won, but like I don't think you can really watch this fight and then going into Brener fight and tell me that he's not live at plus 200. He's just a guy that has been super profitable as a dog, and that's a guy you want to bet at plus 200 ish. And I feel like we have a lot of hype on on this Orolbai guy, rightfully so. He's pretty good. But you talk about the Medic fight. Let's put a stank into this one a little bit. Like, this fight was not on the feet it was on the feet for like 2 minutes or so. Yeah, he hit some big shot and then he put him down and he finished him. But Medic was training to fight a Muay Thai guy for all his camp. He was not preparing to defend any takedowns. He accepted this fight on 1 week notice. He didn't prepare any wrestling, any grappling. And Medic is a poor grappler. I've talked about it last week. He doesn't have good grappling. He doesn't have good takedown defense. And he was not preparing for a wrestler like that. So this guy just took him down, broke him, and finished him. Props to him. But yeah, this fight doesn't really tell me much. And he was a pick him into going into this fight against Medic. So you're going into a pick him against a guy that is a striker to now going into a step up in competition, in my opinion, because Brener is a way more well-rounded fighter and he's minus 250. Just I think there's recency bias. I think there's hype on him, and I'm trying to go against that here. Yeah, like I said, I think it's going to be a close fight on the feet. I think both of them are pretty good. But I think Brenner's going to be doing more. I think he's going to be the one putting the pressure, which is going to be harder for Orolbai to get his takedowns going if he's on the back foot. He doesn't really like being on the back foot. If you watch his tapes, he's more of a guy that like to be the one pressuring people, and he gets his takedowns easier that way. So I don't think Brenner's going to allow him to do that. I think he's going to pressure him. And yeah, Brener has pretty good takedown defense, dude. Like, his get-up game are good, and he has good submission game. So if Orolbai just try to wrestle fuck him, I think he's going to be in some problem. I think Brener is the better grappler than him. And I don't think Orolbai has like the best top control of all time. I think he's decent, but I think he's going to need to get some takedowns. We talk about damage and everything later on. I think Brener, when he's going to get back up, he's just going to go after him. Yeah, I think it's going to be a banger of a fight, to be honest. But yeah, also the clinch aspect's a little bit interesting because if you watch Orolbai, like sometimes he's getting pieced up in the clinch, and I've seen Brener taking advantage of that and doing a lot in the clinch. So I think that's something to look at. I think he's going to have success in the clinch. They're both super durable, but they're very bad defensively. They're getting hit a lot. So yeah, like I said, I think he's going to shoot a lot of takedowns. He's a pretty good fighter, but Brenner's going to be the one pressure him. And yeah, I mean, Brener fought better competition. Like Orolbai on the regional, he fought one good guy. That was the guy that he lost, if you want to say. But I think that's one of the only good fighter that he fought. But he fought lower level guys. He had a lot of favorable matchup against guy that doesn't have good takedown defense, you know. So, and yeah, if you watch that fight against Sachuev, win or lose, like that was a very good fight, but that was very close. And I think Brener is the side here. I think he could potentially get takedowns himself. Might be an odd take, but I think he could. And he's a dog. Like I just think he's a dog training at Shooter Box. We know these dude. So you have a guy that is an absolute dog training at Shooter Box, fighting in Brazil in his home country for a pay-per-view at plus 200. So yeah, and he also has been like, robbery or not, comeback win or not, he has shown you that he can cash as a dog multiple times. He's still going to be there in the third round if Orolbai slow down, if he can get his takedowns, if he's getting tired, who knows. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit tricky to just control Brener, who's a very good grappler, good get up game. And yeah, man, like even against Guram, like he was controlling Guram on the ground at time, which it's not easy to do. And yeah, I think he should be a good but a close fight, but the line doesn't reflect that. So yeah, to me, it has to be dog or pass. But I understand why you guys like this dude. Like, he's good. He looks the part. But to me, recency bias, a lot of hype against the Brazilian and Brazil from Shooterbuck at plus 200. I'm willing to take a shot.
McPicks, what do you think here?
I think you guys both did a good job breaking it down. I just want to touch on a couple points you guys made. His last fight, so Orolbai's last fight was a way different matchup, right? He was on short notice. It was up a weight class, even though he's fought at welterweight before. This one's at 155, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he fought Medic, who's a really good striker, but his grappling is shit, right? I mean, he's not a good grappler. It's been exposed a number of times in the UFC. And I like Medic. I think he's a good dude. I don't like when the fighters make excuses though about like, oh, I didn't train my takedown defense. If I did, I would have been able to defend takedowns. It's like takedown defense is like grappling 101, like fundamental. Like you're always grappling. You know what I mean? But I get his point. Like he was preparing for a Muay Thai guy, not preparing for a striker at all, or for a grappler at all. So I get his point. But I mean, come on, it's takedown defense. But yeah, I think this is a really good matchup. I also got Orolbai in at minus 170. Again, I didn't track it, but I think the line is a little wide now. But I'm looking forward to watching this one, man. It's a really good matchup. Two solid prospects. Both guys are really well-rounded and durable. But at the end of the day, I'm going to go with Orolbai because I think he can dictate where the fight takes place because of the wrestling. You know, Brener, he's 3-0 in the UFC. He's found a lot of success so far. Got to give him credit for that. But let's be honest, he lost his debut against Zuba. I had Zuba in that one, so I'm still bitter about that.
I agree with you on that, by the way.
I mean, it was close, but I thought he clearly lost. And then his next fight against Guram, Guram was up 2-0 on all three judges' scorecards going into the third round. But again, Brenner's a dog. I mean, he finished Guram. It was a clear win for him in the end, but he was down. And then he fought that dude on short notice in his debut, and he knocked him out. So he's a really good fighter, Brenner, but I think that, he's 3-0 in the UFC. He beat some good fighters, but I think there's if you look into it, you can kind of poke holes in that. But, both guys are super tough. Like you said, Pegasus, I wouldn't be surprised if this one makes it to a decision, but yeah, I'm just looking forward to this one, but I think Orolbai takes it.
Nice. I agree. I agree with you. I think it's the side here, and Drav's going to find out on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I think you win the fight, but not at minus 250 or minus 275.
No, definitely not.
At the end of the day, I think minus 170 was a decent line. I personally line him around 55 to 60% here. I understand why he's the favorite, but I just feel like when we have a lot of hype, a lot of recency bias around somebody, that's where we can take advantage of big plus number. And I think Brener at plus 200. Yeah.
And that's the thing too. Well, looking at like jiu-jitsu on the ground and stuff like that, the thing that counters jiu-jitsu is strong grappling on the ground. And these guys from, that part of the world, the mountain country over there, they grapple differently. They're heavy up top. They're constantly moving their weight, and they're never gonna he likes to play from guard, like I talked about. And Orolbai is not going to sit in those positions. I could see him cutting him with elbows from the bottom. That's definitely a possibility. But I think Orolbai has what it takes to, keep it low key. Before we talk about another, girl fight, I just saw a tweet. Did you guys see that Garcia just failed his drug test for that boxing fight he had a week and a half ago?
No.
He just failed for us. What is it? Osterine, the VADA, whatever it is, the VADA test. Yeah, he reported positive for it. So that's interesting.
Is that going to change anything about the result?
I don't know. I'm not a boxer. I don't pay attention to that really. I kind of think it's, I don't know. I think it's set up a lot of the times. I don't even know what to say about that. That's kind of like this Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight we talked about. We could talk about that for a little bit too. What do you think about Jake Paul being minus 180 in a fight that I think it's a must win for him? And I kind of thought it was going to be set up for him fighting a 58-year-old man. It's kind of fucked up to be fighting someone that age. But what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I've been following Jake for a long time, and he's doing his thing. He's a smart guy. People hate him, but he's doing his thing with the money, and he's making millions. But the fact that they made this an official pro bout and that it's going to go into Mike Tyson loss record if you lose this fight. I think it's a little bit more interesting. And yeah, the thing is, Tyson's probably going to be looking good early. I don't think like even if he's super old, he's still gonna have some moments early, and he still have power. So he's life to catch him. Don't get me wrong, but the cardio is just not gonna be there as the fight goes on. And I think Jake should win this, but it's not a fight I'm willing to go on and bet. But yeah,
I hear you. What about McPicks? Anything to say or not? Not really. Don't care about that.
I'm not into boxing, but I do hope that Tyson knocks him the fuck out. That would be great.
Me too. Next fight, Carolina Kowalkiewicz versus Iasmin Lucindo. Carolina is 38, 5'3", the 64-inch reach. Lucindo is 22, 5'3", with a 66-inch reach. Odds on these women, Lucindo is anywhere from -400 to -450. Carolina's +350 to plus 285. I'm going to be honest. The odds being so wide, I did not even tape this fight. I didn't really care to see it. I probably think Lucindo probably finishes her. I did a little look on her Instagram. She's training with Nunes. She looks good. She's in good shape. She's probably learning a lot from, the female GOAT. So I could only imagine how this goes. I'd probably take Lucindo, but these odds, you can't really play her. I don't know. Put her in a parlay if you want. Maybe play inside the distance. I don't even know. What do you think, McPicks?
Yeah, I mean the odds are getting a little ridiculous. I get why Lucindo's a favorite, but I mean -400, that's crazy. But she is 16 years younger, which is like a crazy substantial number. She's only 22, and she has a decent amount of experience already. The only like true advantages I give to Carolina are just obviously experience and level of competition and volume. But other than that, I think Lucindo is the better grappler. She's fast, has faster striking, more power, and she has more finishing upside. With that being said, I actually don't think she gets the finish here. She doesn't really go for it. If you watched her last fight, she did get the submission, but it was until that point, I just feel like her opponent just kind of let her get into a dominant position and choke her out. And also she's knocked out nothing but like trash cans on the regional scene. And Carolina's tough. She's only been knocked out one time in her career, and it was against Andrade. So I don't think that she's going to knock her out. I would say the submission's a little more live, but I do think this one goes to decision. And like I said, she has a high finishing rate. Lucindo does, but mostly against really low-level competition. And Carolina's tough. But so the pick's going to be Lucindo, but yeah, you can't. I wouldn't even parlay her at -400.
Drav, how about you?
Yeah, not too much to say for me about this one. I think Lucindo should win, but yeah, if you like Carolina, you can bet her by decision at +500. I think that's a win condition, +500. I think Carolina by split decision, +1800. It's not bad either. Like you can play 0.25 unit on each if you want. But at the end of the day, Lucindo is probably going to win this. She's the better fighter, much younger. But yeah, I think she's a little bit overrated now with this price. But yeah, Carolina 38, but 4-fight win streak. But yeah, that's a step up in competition. Lucindo should beat her, but yeah, she's 22 at the end of the day.
20 +500 on a decision for a girls' fight. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, plus like what is Carolina path to victory? A close decision, right? You guys agree with that?
Yeah, I would take. What's her spread? What's her +3.5? I love taking a wide spread girls' fight +3.5. What's that?
It's wow, it's +160.
But, okay, that's not high enough for plus. That doesn't make sense for +350.
Yeah, but again, you just bet Carolina by split decision +1800. You just throw like 0.25 unit on that, and you hope for the best.
Yeah, you're not wrong. That's actually pretty interesting. I might have to do that. Let's talk about the next fight. Next fight's a real good one. It's Joanderson Brito versus Jack Shore. Joanderson Brito, he's 29, 5'8", with a 72-inch reach. He's also he's out of a different jukebox camp. He's under Emilio there. And Jack Shore is out of his family camp, the Shore Mixed Martial Arts Academy. He's 29, 5'8", with a 71-inch reach. Odds on these two, Brito is anywhere from -164 to -180. Jack Shore is anywhere from +145 to +130. I'll go first here. I think Brito is going to finish Jack Shore. We saw Jack Shore get hurt against Ricky Simone and then get eventually finished by sub. If Ricky Simone is subbing him and hurting him, I can only imagine what Brito is going to do. Brito's a natural 145er. Jack Shore is coming up in weight. I think that a lot of people are banking on Jack Shore to do that wrestling and kind of put the pace on Brito as he gets tired. But like we saw in the GSP fight, Brito found the finish. GSP let us all down last weekend. We don't have to talk about that. But
no, he didn't, bro. Me and MC Cash fucking Ulama, bro. Come on,
yeah,
fam.
bro. But I didn't. I was on JSP on a good what I thought was a good line.
I know you gave me shit because of that.
I know. But either way, I don't think Jack Shore is as physical.
Wait a minute. You said Onama's a quitter.
What do you got for me?
God. Onama's a quitter. GSP is gonna break him. That's what he was saying.
I thought that, but honestly, hey, he proved me wrong. I've cashed Onama as a dog before. I didn't think we were going to catch him here, but here we are. I don't think Jack Shore has the physicality of JSP. I don't think he has the grappling of JSP. So I don't really see him getting Brito down. I think Brito probably knocks him out here in Brazil. Drav, what do you think for this one?
Yeah, and even in the first round, if I'm not tripping, I've watched this a couple of days ago, but GSP was not able to take him down in the first round, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I correct?
No, until he got tired or got a little tired till he got him down.
In round 2, right? That's where he took him down. I'm correct? Just want to make sure. Yeah. So to me, at first, I was like, maybe this line's a little bit wide. You know, Shore, better cardio, wrestling, grappling upside. But now I don't really like him at 145, to be honest. Like, I think he had a lot of advantages at 135. Like, he was longer. He was bigger than these people. He was able to utilize his strength. But now I feel like at 145, he doesn't really have that. I think he's gonna struggle to take Brito down, especially early. And on the feet, I think short striking is decent. Like, I think he's gonna win some minutes, but Brito's going to be winning the moments, and he's going to be doing way more damage, you know, way more finishing upside, KO or submission, natural featherweight, way more dangerous. I think he can get takedowns himself here. I think they can both get takedowns, but I'm not too sure Short's going to be able to take him down just because Brito might be just too strong for him. So, yeah, Brito fighting at home, the better fighter overall, the more dangerous guy. I think he's going to finish him at some point, but even if you go the distance, you know, I think he's going to win base of damage and landing the bigger shot. So I think he's the side here.
Judging in Brazil as well. McPicks, how about you, bro?
Yeah, we're all in agreement here. I think Brito's the side. You know, if you look at Jack Shore, you know, he has a really good record, obviously. 6-1 in the UFC. But you look into who he beat, none of the 6 wins he has in the UFC, none of those guys are fighting with the UFC anymore. They all got cut. And the one loss he has against Ricky Simon, who's a good fighter. But, all 6 of his wins in the UFC, they're no longer with the promotion. So, and like you guys mentioned, a big thing to mention here with Shore, he recently moved up in weight, 135 to 145. He fought Makwan Americani in his debut at featherweight, where Americani won the first round and then gassed out like he always does.
But Makwan also just got finished in like that knockoff. What
saw that? Yeah,
he just got finished against some deli worker. So I don't know if like that means anything. I will say that I'm pretty big on Timur Valiev. So that's the probably most impressive win he has.
I am as well. I am too, but Valiev doesn't have good cardio, dude. He gasses out. Like he lasts longer than Americani, but like by the 3rd round, Valiev gasses out. I think he just got knocked out too recently.
Yeah,
but
his chin's not good too. Valiev.
No.
Suspect. Short drop him. You drop him twice. He looks like Mike Tyson in there. Prime Mike Tyson.
Prime Mike Tyson.
But so like you guys said, Brito's really good fighter, is explosive, well-rounded, and he's definitely the more dangerous fighter. And I think that the biggest thing here, there's going to be a massive, massive discrepancy in physicality and athleticism in favor of Brito. You know, Shore has not fought anyone even remotely close to Brito in regards to like power or even like, you know, finishing upside. So I just think that if Ricky Simon can wobble you at 135, then Brito can absolutely do the same, and he'll probably finish it by knockout. So I think he's live for the finish. I actually think that Jack, he kind of looks similar to what he did at 135, at 145, which is not a good thing. He kind of looks like soft to the body. So I think he get hurt to the body, and then we see like a ground and pound finish. So, and I also think similar to, not to bring up the Onama bet again, Pegasus, but similar to my breakdown with Onama was, I was saying that his cardio issues were overstated, and they were. He did really good in the third round. Yes, Pierce didn't shoot as many takedowns, but Onama was still there in the third round. Everyone's saying, he has bad cardio. He gassed out against Landwehr. He gassed out against Mason Jones. But I think it's similar here. Brito, he doesn't have bad cardio. I mean, it's not like elite, but it's not bad. So I think that Brito knocks him out.
Yeah, I agree. I just hope I hope it's sooner than later. I would hate to see Brito in round 3. Next fight here, Paul Craig versus Chao Borralho. Paul Craig is he is 36, 6'3" with a 76-inch reach, finding his new home at 185. Chao Borralho is 31. He's 6'1" with a 75-inch reach. He's also out of Fighting Nerd, so that coach is going to be working overtime this card. Odds on these two guys, Borralho's anywhere from minus 536 to minus 704. Paul Craig is anywhere from plus 495 to plus 390. I'll start us off here just because it's quick. I'm pretty much I usually never do notes on the show. I go everything off the top of my head. I have breakdowns for these written. For this one, I think this one's pretty straightforward. I think this is a perfect fight for Cal. Paul is horrible on the feet, even though he's getting these knockouts. I think they are like kind of fluky in my opinion. Chao's going to have the wrestling upside. He has great back control when he gets the back. He's going to be completely safe on the ground with Craig. I know he's a great Brazilian jiu-jitsu specialist. I think Craig, he's 36 years old now. We just saw him get out-grappled by Brandon Allen. Nothing wrong with that. But he just looks very lackluster. Like I said, horrible striker. I think if Chao keeps it standing, he'll knock him out on the feet. He can find a ground and pound on the ground as well. I played him early, like I said, at minus 198 when that line first dropped on DraftKings. Obviously, beat the line pretty bad. He's almost $6 worth. Now now the way to play him, I think, is by KO plus 285. If you don't like the KO and you're worried about the sub, you could probably play him inside the distance as well. But I think that's the only way to play Cal. I know that's pretty controversial because people think he fights boring and goes to decision. But I think in Brazil, getting, a big fight here, I think he knows he's on the world stage. And I think he's going to prove a point here against the guy who's on the tail end of his career. Drav, what do you think?
You will play him ITD at minus 175?
I didn't know it was minus 175. I figured if his KO was plus 285. And what's his sub? His sub is, I did not know his inside distance minus 175. Do not play that.
That is plus 200. Plus 225 on DraftKings.
So he's plus odds for both finishes, but his inside the distance is minus 175. They're trying to make you pick a side on how he finishes them.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. I think it's KO, guys. Play the KO line.
It's tricky because you could potentially submit him if you want, but he's a smart dude. He's one of the main guy at Fighting Nerds. He's coaching these people, and yeah, so I think if he's smart, which I think he is going to keep the fight on the feet, where he's the better striker. He has the better chin. He has more power. Craig, I think he's chinny. He doesn't have good striking, and he's cutting a lot of weight to fight at 185, fighting in enemy territory here again. So yeah, I think Borralho is going to go out there and make a statement, and I think they both slow down in round 3. So if the fight goes into round 3, I don't think there's going to be a finish personally. So I play KO1, KO2 for Borralho here. I got good numbers on it. I think it's probably how he finish. I'm willing to lose if he sub him, but I think if he finish, it's probably more a KO than a sub. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he ride a decision. That's possible, but I think he should get a finish and make a statement here.
Look out for the leg lock here for the sub. If we're talking subs, look out for the leg lock. McPicks, what about you?
Yeah, I like Cal as a fighter. He's definitely going to be the clear minute winner here. He's younger, he's more durable. He's just a super well-rounded fighter. I'm not as bullish on him getting a finish here as you guys, though. I just think that he lacks finishing instincts. He's like position over submission. He doesn't have a ton of power. Doesn't throw a lot of ground and pound. So, Craig kind of forces the action. So maybe a finish materializes for Borralho, but I don't know. I'm not as confident in it. Craig has been finished a number of times, but it was mostly from like big power punchers. He tends to like find a way to survive, on the ground, but maybe Kyle proves me wrong and knocks him out on the feet. But like you guys said, I think it's just tough to choose a method. Is it going to be knockout or submission? I mean, who knows? That's why I guess the inside of distance is -175, and the other two are where they're lined at. I'd like to say that Borralho gets the KO, but yeah, I'm not confident in it. But I do think he's a very safe play here. -700.
Say, has Paul Craig ever been subbed before? It looks like he
Yeah.
has. One of
Brennan
them was
Allen.
in Brennan Allen, and then he got in grappling competition against Jed
No, Jimmy
Hugh.
Crute submitted him. No, I'm not sure.
Who did?
Am I tripping? Jimmy Crute didn't submit him. I think
Yeah, he did. It was a Kimura, actually. I remember that.
Oh,
It was
yeah, the
late in third
Kimura.
round.
Yes, he did. That was a while ago. That was in 2018.
Yeah.
He's been knocked out by ground and pound by Pedro, by Roundtree was on the feet. He lost to Meningfield, knocked him out. So these are all a lot bigger guys. Johnny Walker, hammer fist to the ground. Dude, I don't know. I think John might finish him on the
But
ground.
you also have to factor that he was fighting at 205. He was already chinny, and now he's fighting at 185. So he's obviously cutting a lot of weight, and he was already chinny at 205. That's why I feel like the KO is going to happen. I could see a decision, but if you like Borralho decision, just bet fight go the distance at this point, because Borralho decision on Bet Online it's +200, and fight go the distance is +180. So I don't think Craig win the decision. And if you like the Craig side, you can get his submission prop at like +1000 on some books. He's always live for it at the end of the day.
Yeah, I don't know. He's not going to get it against a guy like Chow. Chow's away. Sure, Paul Craig's got great jiu-jitsu, but he's got that European style jiu-jitsu. He ain't subbing a guy out of that Fight Nerds camp, especially.
You don't think he would ever submit Nkalaev, right? Ever?
I don't know. Yeah, I know he did, but I don't see is Ankalaev how often do you see him wrestling? He does it, but not often. He's more of like that Dagestani that Russian striker type of.
No, he's a good wrestler. You just prefer to strike, but he's good at wrestling.
I don't know. It could be interesting. I think the KO is the way to play it, though. Next fight, right? We got is Michel Pereira versus Ihor Poteria. Michel Pereira, he's 30, 6'1" with a 73-inch reach. Poteria is 27, 6'3" with a 75-inch reach. He's going to be a little bit bigger than Michel Pereira in here. Right now, the odds on these two gentlemen, Pereira is -550 to -783. That's crazy. Ihor is anywhere from +493 to +500. I mean, that's because obviously it's on short notice. This is a filler fight. Murdolf had to pull out because of an infection. I don't know. I think this fight, I think Pereira probably wins this fight. He's been, on a tear, knocking people out. We saw that. I think that he's probably going to KO Poteria here. If anything, I don't really think it goes the distance. Saw an interesting prop fight to go round 2, -130 on FanDuel. I think I'm going to probably hop in on that just because, like we saw in Poteria, everyone planned on betting Poteria to die under 1.5 rounds. I think me and Drav did in our BTL parlay. We saw that fight go to decision. I mean, this could be a very big feel out in round 1 and then kind of get crazier, but Flippy's also not that type of guy. He may go right at him. I don't know. I'm going to look more into that before I bet it, but that's probably how I'd play it, is fight to start round 2. Drav, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, one thing people have been saying about Poteria, and I said it last time out, I'm fucking pissed. I bet this KO. I didn't play his money line against the robber guy. That was stupid by me, and also play the under in the parlay, and I lost big. But yeah, at the end of the day, one thing that I don't agree with most people saying is that this guy is chinny. I don't think he has a bad chin, Poteria. I think he has a pretty good chin. When he's getting finished, it's more often than not he's getting tired and then he's getting finished. So I think he can get submitted here. Like Pereira, I bet him against Oleg Jacek like last time out, and he basically knocked him out, and then he decided to submit him. So I just feel like even if he hurt him here, he might just try to grab a neck. He might shoot takedowns. He might get on top. He's the much better grappler. So yeah, even if he hurt him, I think he can submit him. Obviously, he can knock him out as well. He's minus 700. He should be fine. It's kind of funny because before at 170 he was kind of a decision machine. Now he finished Oleg and Petrosky under a minute. I think both them back to back at 185. So I think he's in the right weight class. But you had Pereira, a guy that was a welterweight, against a guy in Poteria who was a light heavyweight. Now they're fighting together at middleweight. So obviously Poteria, he hit hard. He's live to knock him out. To be honest, I think this line's crazy now. Minus 700 on Michel Pereira. I mean, come on. Like the money line side is Poteria. I play Michel Pereira sub plus 400. I play it small, but I think that the line is crazy on Poteria. I make Pereira a pretty good favorite. I think he should win this fight. Probably a 70 to 75% clip, but he's what, 80%, 85 now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just feel like he has to be Poteria, and he has shown me to improve his game recently. And yeah, he looked good in his last two fights, but he's on short notice. Fighting a Brazilian. Pereira, a lot of momentum recently, so yeah, he should be fine, but probably gonna get a finish. But yeah, if I go the distance, it's probably a little bit crazy too. I think I can see a world where I go the distance, and I love this fight start round two and go Peg. I think Pereira probably gonna finish him in round 2 or 3 if he does.
Yeah, I agree. McPicks, how about you? So let's play a game. Say there's no grappling at all, and this is a straight up striking match. Who wins that fight, McPicks? Who do you think?
Against these two?
Yeah, these two guys.
Yeah, I think Pereira wins easily.
When do you think he wins?
How do I think he wins this fight?
No, like when? What round?
I think that like Drop said, at 170 he was more a decision guy. I think that his finishing capacity early is being a little bit overrated here or overstated here because he's gotten so many recent first round finishes. I think he knocks him out in like the second round, I would say. Pereira does. But overall, he's minus 700 now, which is crazy. But the cards are stacked against Poteria on this one. He's taking this fight on short notice. He's going to enemy territory. And Pereira's been surging lately. He seems like he found his natural weight class at middleweight. And Poteria, his style of fighting, he's like in and out, but his hands are down. He's been knocked out like 4 times. His hands are at his waist. I don't think he has the best cardio. It's probably going to be a Pereira knockout, but I wouldn't rule out like a club and sub. Gets hurt in the feet and then goes out to the mat and submits him. Because I was thinking about the KO as well, but Poteria really hasn't fought many submission grapplers, so we don't know how he's going to be on the mat really. But come on, I mean, Pereira minus 700 is crazy.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, it could get definitely interesting. All right, let's move on to our next one here. Next fight is Anthony Smith versus Vitor Petrino. Anthony Smith, everyone knows him, 35, 6'4", with a 76-inch reach.
The next champion.
Yes, the future light heavyweight champion. Versus Vitor Petrino, he's 26, 6'2", with a 77-inch reach. Imagine Anthony Smith just took the knee in the fight against John Jones and took the belt and became champion. Imagine that world we would be living in. Smith anywhere from plus 425 to plus 370. Petrino anywhere from minus 512 to minus 650. McPicks, start us off. I mean, I think Petrino wins. Do you think he wins? And if so, how does he do it?
I do think he wins. How he does it, I think it's more of a tricky question. He has a lot of power, but he doesn't force things. And I actually think that in this matchup, Smith's actually the more skilled fighter. But I mean, at this stage in his career, he's obviously not as durable as he was. And Petrino is like one of those guys. Like I always think of like Yoel Romero. Like these guys are like made in a lab. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
And Petrino, honestly, he has that like rare combination where he's like explosive and he has a muscular frame, but he also has cardio. Like those two things typically don't go hand in hand, and he has that. I do think that this line is wide. Like I said, I think Smith's the more skilled fighter overall. Just at this stage in his career, he doesn't really wear damage well, and he tends to lose a lot of moments in fights. But like I said, Petrino, he has power, but he's just not aggressive enough. And I think that actually this fight has a chance to make it to a decision. Something with Anthony Smith is that, like, yes, he's been finished a number of times in his career. The majority of those were early on. If you look back at his record, he was finished a ton, like over 10 years ago. He has a knack for, if he gets hurt early on, he tends to survive. Like, he doesn't, like, even if he gets hurt, he somehow survives, and maybe he'll get finished late or he'll force a decision. But I don't think he's only been knocked out like one time, or he's only been finished like one time within a round and a half in the past like 10 years or something like that. I was looking at his record this morning. He tends to just make it past a round and a half. But yeah, Petrino, you got to favor him here. I do think he gets the win. I just don't know how.
I agree. Drav, I think KO, honestly. I mean, how long ago is it that he just got knocked out by Khalil Roundtree? That was a bad knockout. So
it was a bad one.
I don't know. I can't believe he's coming back.
December, 5 months ago.
Yeah, he's going to get knocked out again. Drav, what do you think?
Yeah, based on what he's saying, he's talking like he can take Pereira left hook on the chin, So yeah, I think this guy is tripping. I think he's delusional, talking about a title run and everything, that he's gonna be the next champion. I think I don't know if he's doing this just for views, for clicks or anything, but he might be broken mentally. Like, he's talking to people in the cage, saying that he's like, well, what did he say to Johnny Walker? We need to talk about that.
You're attacking my family or something like that.
Bro, I mean, like what was that?
I think he was trying to get himself like in a certain mindset. You know what I mean? Like, this guy is talking about my family. Like, now I gotta, he was trying to get like in a certain mindset to like attack that dude. But yeah, that was weird.
I hope
Johnny Walker was like, what? No, I haven't been.
That's Johnny Walker with his reaction. That was funny. Yeah, I mean, I hope that's the reason, because if it's not, like, it's crazy even more. So yeah, Petrino should win. But yeah, he's a big favorite. That's a big step up in competition at the end of the day. Smith, like you guys said, has been finished for a total of 15 times, but he stayed tough in some fights, get hurt, sometimes survive. I think Petrino round 2, round 3, probably how he does it, but like, this dude, sometimes he's happy to fucking write a decision, and I don't want to get burned betting his scale at plus 120 or something against a guy in the top 10, top 15 that has way more experience than him. So yeah, I don't think Petrino's gonna submit him. I think he can knock him out round 2, round 3, maybe KO2, KO3. If not, decision. It's probably guys. And there any chalky favorite Brazilian fight you think we should fade in this card? Oh, that's
Michel Pereira.
Yeah, to be honest, if any big favorite Brazilian lose, it's probably Pereira or Bonfim, maybe. But
wow, Bonfim, huh?
Yeah, maybe. But I don't think he's gonna lose. But I think he's like one of the more likely to lose. But
what do you think, Rick?
Oh no, I mean, Lucindo could lose a split decision. Yeah, no, maybe. If I could choose one, I think Lucindo is the more likely of all of them to lose.
McPicks, what do you think?
Yeah, I would actually say Lucindo, and then probably Lucindo or Petrino, honestly. I know that sounds crazy, but I just think that, like I said, Smith's a more skilled fighter, and I think that Petrino needs to ramp up his aggression to cover this price.
Yeah, fair. Definitely. All right, next fight. It's our co-main event in Rio. We got the King of Rio, Jose Aldo, fighting Jonathan Martinez. Jose Aldo is, they say, 37. No one knows his real age. He's 5'7" with a 70-inch reach. He's fighting Jonathan Martinez. He's 30, 5'8" with a 69.5-inch reach. Odds right now on these two gentlemen are relatively close. Martinez is anywhere from minus 140 to minus 165. Aldo is anywhere from plus 135 to plus 125. So the lines are pretty tight, which means it's probably where the book wants it to be. Droff, you already know I'm on Jonathan Martinez. I think, Aldo already having future bouts in boxing and kind of coming out of a 2-year retirement. I just think Jonathan Martinez is the younger, hungrier guy. I know he's got to go into Brazil and beat the King of Rio. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't have a strong read on this fight. Would be fun if he was there. He would argue with you about this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me it's very hard because it's more of how much you affect the narrative aspect into your capping. Because Aldo, 37 years old, he already retired from MMA. He's coming back because he needs to fight the last fight out of his contract. That's what I've heard. So he's coming back to retirement. He did some boxing. So last MMA fight was there a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. So the dude is, it's not like he's not gonna fight. He's gonna fight, but 37, 135 pounds. We all know the weight cut is tough for him. But yeah, I think he's the better boxer here. I think he could give some problems to Martinez in the pocket with his boxing. He has power. Martinez, I think he's durable, but he doesn't have the best chin. He could get dropped, could get knocked out here. Jose Aldo by knockout, I think he can get like plus 700. I think it's a little bit wide. Martinez is gonna try to play his leg kicks game. I love Martinez. I've backed him at nasty big plus odds in his last 2 or 3 fights. I had him against Yanez. I had him against Said Nurmagomedov. So yeah, he was big underdog in both these fights, but now he's fighting a guy that is a more tricky matchup for him at minus 170 or whatever it is. Jose Aldo, he's super good at checking kicks. He has good leg kicks himself, and Martinez is the leg kicks king. So it's gonna be interesting to see who win this battle. I had to lean dog or pass for I think Aldo's the side plus 135, plus 140. But because of everything going behind the scene, the age, the narrative, I don't want to bet against that. But again, the fight go the distance like minus 250, minus 275. That's in Brazil. And Aldo's the king of Rio. So, it's probably going to be close. So maybe they give him the split decision if the fight is close. And maybe a hot take, but I think he has a little bit more finishing upside than Martinez. So, yeah, maybe he comes out there and he just washed and he's just coming in for a paycheck. But in his hometown, I think he's still going to be there and fight. But yeah, it's going to be a good fight. I'm excited for this one.
And real quick, before McPicks goes, we got a pretty high amount of viewers right now. Guys, if you can, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We do this every week for free. It's fun. We love to do it. We love to help you guys out, too. We're relatively profitable on the show. That's the best way to show us support. We're also all have our Twitter handles in here. Give us a follow. All pretty sharp guys. McPicks, what do you think? Do you think Aldo, what is it, plus 450 to finish is a good prop?
No, I don't think he finishes. But just as a random aside, if some of you guys are in the chat are a little bit newer to MMA, then go back and watch like the build up and the press conferences between Aldo and McGregor. I can't believe it's almost been 10 years, especially the press conferences in Dublin, Ireland. They're hysterical and they're absolutely insane. The build up, like, I mean, Aldo was pretty much like untouchable. In the build up in this fight, like he was the featherweight, like he was the GOAT. Like no one was. He was running through everyone.
10 years undefeated.
Insane. And then this whole build up with him and McGregor in his prime, and then McGregor sleeps him in less than 15 seconds. It was just honestly, it was amazing. And I can't believe that was in 2015. I just looked at it. Almost 10 years ago.
If they ever ran that fight back, how do you think it goes if they ran it back?
Right now?
No, not now. I'm saying they ran it back. They gave him an automatic rematch because obviously he defended the belt for 10 years. Conor's never defended a belt, first off. That's sizable. I think to be a champion, you have to defend the belt. That's my personal policy on it. But what do you think if they ran it right back? They gave him the immediate rematch. How do you think that fight goes? You think it's another? You think Conor knocks him out again?
I think Conor finishes him eventually, but I think it's like almost like the way Max did it, like a little bit later in the fight. Like, Max finished him like the third round, but I think that Conor gets him out in there like the second. Conor was like at that point just like in his own realm, honestly.
Drav, what do you think? You think it goes the same way? You think Conor finds the finish, or do you think Aldo does Aldo things?
I think so, but it's so tricky, dude, because we know the fights can play a different kind of ways. But yeah, the fight. The fact that he knocked him out so quickly with all the build up, that was crazy.
Yeah, I agree. So McPicks, give you went already for this one. Let's go to the next one. This is our main event, guys. On Alexandre Pantoja versus Steve Asho Boy Erceg. Pantoja is 34. He's 5'5" with an 80 or 68-inch reach. He's fighting obviously Erceg, who's 28, 5'8" with a 68.5-inch reach. Right now, the odds on these two guys have dwindled closer than they were before. Erceg's anywhere from plus 165 to plus 152. Pantoja's anywhere from minus 184 to minus 210. Let's just get McPicks. You start first. How do you think this fight goes?
I think it's a underrated main event. I'm actually really looking forward to this one. Pantoja fights are always really exciting. Pantoja's a really good fighter. He's about as experienced as you can get, against the highest level of competition. He's durable. He's super well-rounded. I just think at 34 years old, he's been in a ton of wars, and he gets reckless at times. And Erceg is the younger. He's bigger. He's the fresher fighter. And I think that Erceg on the feet is going to have the speed and the technicality advantages.
Yes, sir.
I think you have to side with Pantoja in the grappling department, even though that Erceg's definitely no slouch there. Actually, he was known as a grappler initially, and then he kind of developed his striking. But Pantoja is just like a submission specialist. He's a back-taking specialist. But I think you got to favor Erceg on the feet.
Yeah.
You could definitely make a point that Erceg is being like absolutely fast-tracked here. But I honestly think that he's the hungrier fighter, and he's the one that's like going for the belt, where Pantoja, he already defended the belt. He's 34. He's got his family in Florida. He's kind of like living life now. And 34 at 125 is, we know at these lower weight classes, you tend to get old quick. Like you lose like that athleticism and explosiveness earlier on than you would at like, let's say, heavyweight. It's crazy to say, but I think that actually Erceg can hurt Pantoja on the feet, because Pantoja leaves a ton of openings. If you rewatch that fight with Marino, he was reckless at times. He won it, obviously, but he was out there. He was reckless. We haven't seen Erceg go 5 rounds, but whenever I watch his 3-round fights, he kind of looks fresh at the end of round 3. So I would say he has good cardio, and I would say this is a dog or pass situation. I am picking Erceg.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised you said that, and I'm the same way. I actually played Erceg for a unit at plus 200. Similar to what you said, Pantoja on the feet, Erceg, I think, is a level above him in striking. Pantoja is also so hittable. He relies on his chin. He gets hit a lot. And we're watching this guy, Erceg. You talk about the Costa fight, knocked him down. We talk about the Snell fight. I mean, he damn near killed him with that punch. We saw against Dorvik or Dorvac, whatever it is. That fight, he got caught with that hook, and his hand was like glued to his head the whole rest of that fight. So, like, we know this guy's got power. And outside of Figgy, looking through Pantoja's, run up until this title, I don't know. I went into tape being like, okay, I don't know how I'm going to play this. Let's just watch. It's the first fight I broke down. I came out of tape thinking Erceg. People are going to be like, what are you thinking? And I'm like, yeah, because you look at it, Manel Kopp, Davidson Figueiredo, those are the only 2 power punchers Pantoja's fought. All the rest of these guys, he's been hitting the chin and he's been taken down and rides them out. If you watch the last Royval fight, the Moreno fight, it's all been consistent of him laying and praying for the last, 3 rounds of the fight. And I think at a 2-to-1 shot against a guy who's got to lay and pray, and Erceg is a great jiu-jitsu guy. He, like you said, he's a grappler first, then found his hands, and I think he puts them together very well. Standing, I think Erceg wins this fight. Without a doubt, I think Pantoja does get a takedown, because obviously we've seen Erceg taken down by Costa. We saw him almost taken down by Dorvac. But Dorvac was kind of like he caught Dorvac and wasn't expecting him to shoot. I don't know. I kind of think that he's very live here to upset the champ. It's one of those things that everyone's kind of writing him off, even though the line doesn't say that, considering it moved from plus 200 to plus 150. I think everyone's not even giving this guy a chance. And to be honest, I think, like you said, the young guy coming up, wanting that belt more than anything, and he's very well-rounded for what it's worth. And I don't think he's really fought such a heavy puncher like Erceg does. I think if Erceg touches that chin, he could actually hurt Pantoja. And if that's the case, he could probably finish him. Obviously, on the ground, different story. Probably the better grappler on Pantoja's side. Probably the better jiu-jitsu. Back, like you said, the back takes are probably the best in the UFC ever, outside of Mighty Mouse maybe. But I don't know. I kind of think Erceg's aside here on dog or pass. But I played Erceg plus 200. I was happy with that. Jav, what do you think?
Yeah, saying that Pantoja is lay and pray on the ground is a little bit of crazy take, Peg.
I
Not
don't
knowing.
think so, man. Look at that Royval fight in round 4 and round 5. Round 5, towards the end of that fight, that's when Royval was just turning it on, baby. We were just getting started. Give me that in round 2. That's all.
No,
And Royval's going home with the belt.
I said that you said that Pantoja is a lay and pray type of grappler.
After round 3, he is. Look at the Moreno fight.
I mean, if he's tired, he's not going to push a finish. But this dude is like one of the best grappler in the entire division, maybe in the entire UFC. Crazy back take, very good submission grappler. Yeah, if he's tired, of course he's going to control the position. He's smart, but yeah, I agree with you guys. I think Erceg is the side here. It's going to be a good and close fight again. The line doesn't really reflect that. Erceg is a very good striker, especially at distance with the jab. I love the in and out movement. With what I've seen, he has a good chin, so that's important here, considering Pantoja, like insane chin and good power. On the feet, I think Pantoja is going to try to pressure him. In the pocket, I think he's going to be able to land some big shot. I've seen people landing big shot in the inside against Erceg, but when the fight is at distance, I think he's going to piece him up with the jab, to be honest. And now on the ground, I think Pantoja is going to try to grapple. Of course, going to shoot takedowns. Is he going to be able to get takedowns? I think he will, but what I was looking for is, I know Erceg is a very good grappler, but I really like his get-up game. Like, he doesn't waste times. He's getting right back up when taking down, and he has pretty good takedown defense himself. Very good grappling, so I don't think Pantoja is going to submit him personally. And yeah, if you look when Pantoja rush in, like even against Moreno, I back him against Moreno at plus 180. That's different now. He's minus 200. But yeah, when he was rushing in, Moreno was countering him with a left hook, and Erceg has a very good left hook, so I can see that happening for sure. Like you guys said, he's reckless when he's coming in. He's putting a lot of pressure, power, but he's willing to put himself in danger to have success. At 34 years old, at flyweight, at the end of the day, he's gonna get cracked eventually. Is that now? I'm not sure, but I think Erceg, like in and out type striking, good jab, good left hook, and he's a good wrestler too, Erceg. So yeah, man, a pretty good takedown defense. Like I said, I love his get-up game. Maybe a hot take. I think Erceg talked about this, but I think he might be able to get takedowns himself.
I agree.
In this fight. So if Pantoja try to shoot on him, and then Erceg getting back up, he might try to shoot a takedown himself. So yeah, on the field, I think it's going to be like minute versus moment winner. Pantoja being the moment winner in the inside with the big shot, trying takedowns, and Erceg winning minutes at distance with the jab and the left hook when Pantoja try to come in. I really like his striking. I think he's very good. So the 5 rounds, I know we have seen Pantoja in 5 rounds. There's a 2-3 times already. But I think he favor Erceg. I think he has the better cardio. Pantoja, he gets tired over 5 rounds. Over maybe 2 or 3 rounds, he gets tired. But he pushed through it. He's a dog. He's not going to quit on himself. But if the fight gets ugly and he can get the takedowns as the fight goes on, because Royval, yeah, he was piecing him up in the last round, but Royval takedown defense is bad. Erceg takedown defense is way better. So if Pantoja is not able to get a back take or takedowns in the round 3, 4, 5, and Erceg's piecing him up, I think the fight might get ugly and he might knock him out. So yeah, I think Erceg's the side here. I also bet him at plus 200. Now I think he's still the side at plus 170, plus 175. But yeah, man, I think we're gonna have a new champion. But I think that's a good fight, high level fight, and I can't wait for it.
I think we're the only podcast that has mutually agreed that Erceg's gonna win this fight. Which is, I kind of love it. I kind of love it.
Yeah, I picked Pantoja to become the champion at plus 180 against Moreno. Now I'm betting against him to lose his belt in Brazil at plus 200. Let's get it.
There's something about that this guy Erceg. I don't know what it is, man. He's just one of those humble guys that just comes in. His build at that weight class is just so different. He gives me like
he's bigger.
He's not as big as Corey Sandhagen, but he gives me that Corey Sandhagen. Like, he's tall, he's lengthy, he can keep you away, and he can, like you said. Also, I want to just mention quickly his body work that he does, like what he hit Matt Schnell with when he finished him, when he ripped him with the right hook to the body and then with the left hook up top. He works the body well. So that could be one of those things that with a gas tank, with a guy in Pantoja, not with gas tank issues, but definitely fades over time, that body work could definitely swing this fight. So I don't know.
It is too. He's so unassuming. You know what I mean? Like, he's
That's
quiet.
He looks like Steve Carell, right?
Yeah, like I mean, you got to respect it though, and like I also saw like a lot of people like saying like, "Oh, this guy's gonna title shot after Matt Schnell." I mean, like he got the opportunity to take a title shot. I mean, how he finished Matt Schnell, he knocked him out cold. What else are
Yeah.
you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like he
Yeah.
got the matchup, he knocked him out. They gave him the title shot, so the guy deserves it.
Do we think Erceg makes it out of the building if he does win the belt?
Oh God, he's better. They better have security walking him under the tunnel.
Yeah, right.
Throat shot him.
Yeah, 100%, guys. All right, McPicks, you've been here for that, guys. Obviously, thank you for joining us. McPicks, you've been here a few times. We're gonna do our BTL parlay for this one. Gonna be interesting. There's a lot of chalk here. How do we want to start this? Job, you want to start first?
No, MC can go first. He's the guest,
All right, MC, you go first. What do you got for us for your leg of the parlay?
Let's do Brito money line.
Okay, Drav.
You talk about this one, McPick, on the podcast, and I kind of liked it. I think I'm gonna go with the over 2.5 for Lucindo and Carolina at minus 205. I think it's pretty decent parlay piece.
Okay, and then for me, oh, this is gonna be fun. It's funny. You look at like all these lines, and it's kind of just like it's so hard to pick something.
I think the over 2.5 for Gomis is good, but yeah, there's a lot good.
It's so funny you said that. I was almost gonna pick Gomis straight up money line for that.
He's only plus 100 now.
That's okay. Let's take it. I'm down to that. Let's do Gomis money line.
Oh,
big mistake.
McPick.
All right. Well, I won't take that. No.
Take it. It's all good.
No. I don't want to put you on the opposite side. Let's do.
Do we all agree on the over for that fight? No,
I like the over. I do like the over for that fight.
I think it goes over.
All right, let's do the over for that fight. We can agree. That's 170, right? Minus 170.
Yeah, and the parlay is plus 285.
I like that. That's our special number right around there. All right.
Gomis is going to knock out Silva now in the first round.
Yeah, right. Right. So, guys, the BTL parlay again is Brito money line minus 164. It's the over 2.5 for Gomis Silva minus 165. And it is, where is this, Lucindo?
The over 2.5 for Lucindo and Carolina minus 205. So I give you plus 285 with the 3 legs parlay.
Okay, plus 285. All right, guys, that's the show. Again, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know if you're tailing that BTL parlay. I'm Pegasus Picks. Everything goes in my Telegram first. If you want to get, like I said, Brito minus 198, Orolbai minus 170, Brito plus 100, Jonathan Martinez plus 100. You got to be in that Telegram, bro. I send it in there, and those line. I ain't no line mover. All right, you guys hear how I break shit down. I'm no line mover. Those lines sit there. So join the Telegram, take those lines. McPicks, what do you got for us?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at McPicks. I do want to read to you guys some of these lines that I got from DraftKings. I got Ruffy at plus 150, Silva plus 114, Lucindo minus 185, Orolbai minus 170, Brito plus 100, Borralho minus 198. So I didn't track these before I got attacked by the track.
Oh, I tracked them.
Well, the difference between me and you is I charge for I charge a premium. You don't. That's the difference there.
Yeah.
Tracking. But the reason why I brought it up is because I post all this stuff in my Discord. A lot of my subscribers got in on these numbers, but again, I don't track them. But I do have a dub club where I post all of my bets, including live betting angles the day of the fights, as well as I post long shot parlays. So if you want to get my content, go on Twitter, and you can subscribe to my dub club.
All right, Drav, close us out.
Yeah, thanks for coming again, McPick. Always fun to have you on. So if you guys don't follow him already, go on. Super profitable guy for a long time. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment. Let us know what you think about the breakdowns, as always. So you can find all my bets on the Dub Club, like McPick. So it's you can go on Twitter. Actually, I did a post today. For the next 10 people that sign up, you can have 25% off. There's 9 spots left. So if you guys want to go in for this pay-per-view, I have a lot of action. 12 bets actually, and a lot of
Whoa.
a lot of plus money plays. So I think it's the right time to sign up. I was having like one of the best year of all time, and now I have 3 bad weeks. So people want to jump off the train, but I'm still up, I think, 35 units this year, and I'm gonna keep going. And I think we are gonna destroy the book this week. Just gonna keep in mind that's a long-term game, so we're not gonna always win every week. But I'm confident that this week we're gonna crush it, and I'm glad we agree on most of the spots this week. I think there's only like 2 fights we don't really agree with, but yeah, man, I people kind of hate on this pay-per-view, but I think we're gonna have some bangers, dude. Like, to be honest, there's some good fights that I'm looking forward to. Not the big names and everything, but that's a good card to me.
We got spoiled. We got spoiled the last pay-per-view. That's why,
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. It's a good lot of low-key bangers in this one. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I agree, guys. Again, thanks for joining us. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next week for UFC St. Louis, guys. Peace.